You learn how to find your way, and then you learn some confidence, and then you matriculated into college. Now, when someone reads this book, following that journey, and meeting the people that are in the book with you, how do you want them to feel, or what do you suspect they're going to feel as they're reading this book?
They're going to feel that you can't accomplish anything by yourself.
Wow. You heard him? You cannot accomplish anything by yourself. Amen. Go ahead, sir.
You got to have somebody walking alongside, even though they don't know they're doing it.
Ooh, talk about that.
People that help you, show you how to do stuff, and they don't know that because I was always my family says my daughter Tanya, and then they talk about I ask a whole lot of questions. I just ask questions because that's the way you learn.
Yes, sir.
And so that's asking questions and communicating. But somebody has to show you how things are. Let me give you a good example.
Yes, sir.
When I first met Lisa back in 2015, I think it was, and she was at a Partners to the Promise workshop that I was at, and she made a presentation about publishing books. And I walked up to her, I had Ernestine to take me to the lady that had the books. And I said to her, she was a black female, she was starting her own company, she had her own company. And me being a black historian trained, I always tried to do what I could to help my people. And sometimes they let you down, sometimes they didn't. But Lisa didn't let me down. We started a process. The first year was like hit and miss, okay? And if you read the book, you will discover that I was the only student in the school for the blind of some type. So I never was a good typist and stuff like that. And part of the problem is I couldn't spell. And a lot of blind people can't spell, but they don't see words.
Amen.
So what we did was I dictated the book to Lisa. And then the first thing I had to do was to get somebody to read what I wrote. And God bless her soul, Lydia Prue I called her and I asked her one day, I said, I'm working on this book and I want you to read. I read what I thought was the first prayer, and they were sure. Anyway, anybody who knows Lydia knows she's gonna be real polite, real diplomatic, you know. And the book was a mess. I mean, she really didn't know how to tell me that. But it was a mess. And so then, after I got that back from her, I sent it out to 3 other people, who I knew well, and they read it, and they were like, you smell, brother. And so we kept narrowing it down until we got it where I was producing a chapter, getting it typed and print. But then I had to get my Braille moved from my braille to my print. So I had to find somebody to type, to take the braille and turn it into the print. And since yours truly could type on a braille typewriter, probably 100 words a minute, but I couldn't do computer stuff.
I want y'all to appreciate this process.
So I had a friend of mine whom I had known for almost 50 years. Her name was Catherine, and I called her, and I said, I need some help. And so she agreed. So what we would do, we would write the book, I would write my chapter, then she would type it. I'll send it out to, I had an external reader out there who I sent it to that person. They would read it, come back. And that's how it was a very tedious, slow process.
Say it again.
And I was fortunately that when we got down to as he said, the core of the book, I had Tanya was reading the book and making comments. Catherine was reading the book and making comments. Then I had to get some more people reading it, because it just had to be done that way. Jamaica, Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
Jamaica, we got the first draft done. Jamaica read them. And I said, I want you to read this book, and I want you to mark everything you see on this thing. I said, read it to me. She couldn't read the book for the mistake. So we got that all worked out. And so then, yeah, I had Tanya, Jamaica, Kathy, Angela Bradford, who was my first. She was after Lydia had turned the book back over to me, I called one of my former students who was an outstanding writer. She was English major. And I sent her a book. And she was like, hey, let me go out here with your name on it, like that. So Angela got so Angela found herself teaching me how to write while she was helping me to write. So
Let me interject, Dr. Davis. Look at this. This book had to go through 3 languages, basically. Audio, braille, typing, verbal, all of that. And he said earlier, I asked him, what is the person who's reading this book going to come to understand? He says, you need help. You need a lot of help. It's been said that no one achieves any levels of success in anything unless a lot of people want them to. So I want to do this here if I could. I want to appreciate all the people that helped you. Okay? I want to appreciate all the people that helped this to be birthed. I want to give you a hand, please. Give me a hand, please. And I'm going to let Dr. Davis keep going for a few minutes, but my spirit is telling me, just in case, I want to yield a moment, just in case there's someone here that has a question that you want to ask. If you have a question that you want to ask Dr. Davis about this process, he's doing a fantastic job explaining why it was tedious. Not all books have to go through this process, but his did. You know, it's been said, if there's a person with a question, let me know you have a question. Yes? No? I thought I saw a hand. Okay. If no one has a question, the opportunity's here. You know, you can let the opportunity miss you or not. Okay? So I'm gonna let it go. But I really appreciate the story. I want to get back into the book a little bit more.
Oh, let me say, the title of the book is Finding My Way, My Journey as a Black Blind Pastor and Educator. Now, the key words, 2 key words in this book, finding my way And that's a play off on virus. Okay? And journey. And the journey is because finding when you're traveling, you're on a journey. And I created a section in the book called Voices from the Journey. And what I did was, each chapter, each book begins with a chapter. And my brother was sitting up there, and he said, yeah, chapter 1, he said his daddy was an alcoholic, his mama was sick, he lived in a poor section of town, and he said, I got to keep reading this book to make sure I might have to sue him. Oh. So much stuff he wrote in this book. But the point was this. This was not just my journey. And so I went back to my former students. I went back to my colleagues. I went back to friends who I value. And I said, I'm writing this. I want you to contribute your reflections of your interaction with me over these last 40 years. So that's how we have Voices from the Journey. That's where that comes from.
How many people know the more people you involve in a project, the longer the project can take? This is a beautiful project because there were a lot of places along the way that Dr. Davis could have said, I'm done with this project. It's too much. I don't want to rewrite it again. I don't want to have to go through another edit. I got to find another person. I'm waiting for this person to finish with their part, this person to finish with their part. That is the tedium he was talking about. But he stayed in the game. He persevered until the end. The race is not given to the swift, but to the endureth to the end. Thank you very much, Dr. Davis. Do you have anything else you want to end with or close with as a thought? Yeah, well, excuse me, there's a question. I met this young man in the room. Please, sir. I appreciate
You characterize me as a young man.
Yes. Speak up, please. I don't think this mic goes that far.
Okay, that's okay. I was just wondering, Dr. Davis, along your journey, how did you? This is Ken.
Yeah.
How did you pick the parts of your journey that you wanted to highlight in the book?
Well, I picked the highlights I wanted to, and those are simply the main chapters.
Okay.
And I picked those sections that meant that I had most struggle with. Okay? The things I had to struggle the hardest to achieve. That's why I picked those.
Amen. Great question. Thank you, sir.
Did that answer, Ken?
Yes, it does. Thank you. He chose to write about the places that he had the greatest struggles. And he's highlighted life is not an individual sport, it's a team sport. You need help. All of you. If you're trying to make it through life in your own strength, you're doing it incorrectly. And this book highlights that beautifully. So I'm going to give you a closing thought. Okay? You have a closing thought? Kind of like summate. Because I want you to get the book. And I want you to share the book. The book is worthy of your time, your energy, and your sharing, your heart. So I want to give him a closing thought, kind of summate to this loving room. What you want to let him know, Doc?
One of the weirdest things about this book is Ernestine's role.
Okay.
everything is not introduced in this book until I get to Belfort. And consequently, Belfort is the last chapter of the book. But I was always moving toward Ernestine. In a lot of ways, I didn't know that. Because I consider the most important chapter in this book is Belfont's chapter. Because had there not been the Belfont, I probably wouldn't have written the book.
Oh, wow.
Because Belfont, even though when I got to Belfont, I had been UNCC from, how many years had I been?
30, right?
No, I had been at UNCC 10 years
Okay.
before I got to Belfont. Okay? But you asked me what is my greatest success. Throughout the book, you see a great deal of things that God enabled me to accomplish. To create an academic retention program
Amazing.
that's one of the tops in the nation still now. Enabled me to teach countless numbers of African American students. Do all kinds of things. But had not I one of the things that is key is remember when you first meet me in the book, I'm in New York City. And then I go through transitions. I leave New York to go to North Carolina. When I get to North Carolina, I was 12 years old. I could not read nor write. In the 5th grade, everybody in my class was making grades, and I'm walking around there, and this is how insane I was, insane, how unaware I was. I would walk around showing my report card, and I had F's every down the line, except for the social studies. I made here I was totally illiterate, couldn't read, but still made C's in social studies, which was kind of weird. But everything resulted in overcoming rejections. When I got to School for the Blind, which is a very important foundation,
Okay.
because it taught me discipline. But there's an alpha and an omega to School for the Blind. It was where I accomplished my great accomplishments of maturing and becoming a conscious human being. When I say that, I mean a human being who wasn't illiterate, he just couldn't see.
Right.
He could learn, he just couldn't see. And when I got to the School for the Blind and then reached that, at the School for the Blind, I know we gotta stop. The School for the Blind, they when you go there, they take you where you are, okay? They don't sugarcoat you. They bring you in, they break you down, and rebuild you back up again, okay? So here I was, 12 years old. I could not read, could not write. So they put me in primary school. Here I was, 12 years old in the first grade. And by the time I reached the 9th grade, I was 21 years old. Okay, they didn't skip me? No. So when desegregation came, and we have guidance counselors co-class, the guidance counselor went around the room and asked you what you wanted to do when you grew up, what you wanted to be when you grew up. And my dream, I don't know where I guess I listened to Mr. Perry Mason. My dream was I wanted to be a lawyer. From hell to high water, I was going to be a lawyer. And the teacher, the guidance counselor said, no, you can't be a lawyer. And I said, what? Because you're not smart enough. You can be a janitor, you know. And I said, that's not what I want to be. She said, well, you can't do it. So they sent me back to Charlotte to take a 9th grade class, made an A in it. They were going to prove I couldn't read, I wasn't smart. Made an A in English. The lady went back, the lady told me, you didn't make that A, they gave me that. Because you're such a pleasant personality. Once they told me that, they saw the other side. So
You starting to tell the good stuff in the book now. That's supposed to be a teaser.
but anyway, I got rejected. And I went to Central People. And every journey along the way, until I got to Belfort, I dealt with rejection. Every chapter in that book, you will find some experience of rejection. Until I got to Belfort.
Amen. Amen. Give him a round of applause, please. I love this story, and he's worthy of being honored. If I could, the people that did contribute to the book, that are in the room right now, can I ask you to come forward, because I want to get the picture with you guys. There's no one here that contributed?
Yeah,
Larry?
Who else?
Yes, please. I want you to come up.
Larry wrote one. Drusilla,
everyone that played any role in the book, please come forward. Yeah, stay right here, please. Any role at all, come on up here. Okay, please. Lisa, give somebody else the camera. All right.
Lydia, please.
Amen. Thank you, guys. So wait a minute,
and there's a phrase. Excuse me. There's a phrase. There's a phrase that's in my head, and it will be there for the rest of my life. And it says,
Go ahead.
the phrase in my head says, Drusilla Govan called me in March of 1990 and said, they were interviewing somebody to be the pastor of this church. And that person decided that Reverend Myra, he decided that he wasn't going to be able to do it. And Drusilla called me and said, we are interested in talking to you. And I said, if you are just calling me to fulfill a quota of meet Presbyterian guidelines, don't bother me.
Oh.
And she said, no, we believe you can do it. So somebody just needs to give you a chance.
Amen.
And that's how I got here.
Amen. Lisa, please find a way up there. Lisa, stand up there. The reason why I want Lisa to stand up there, she got this book published. Stand next to, yes. But y'all heard Dr. Gregory Davis say, when he met Lisa in 2016, it was actually, she had just started her publishing company. And Dr. Davis, you were one of her early projects, okay? You were one of her first few projects that she took on. But since the time she took on your project, Lisa has published 149 books. 149 since 2016 while working on your project. 149. There might be someone in this room that knows you need to get a book published. That's the woman. Yes, ma'am.
I know Dr. Davis mentioned about Celeste Young. She's back there now.
Celeste, can you please come for this picture too?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't know it was a direct part. I definitely have felt blessed.
Well, he called your name out, my sister.
Now, let me tell you about that. No, let me tell you about her.
Uh-oh.
In 1987, excuse me, I created a program at UNC Charlotte called SAFE, which stood for Student Advising for Freshman Excellence, in which we would take upper class students and match them with undergrad to serve as their mentors for that whole year. And that program and the Utah program that Herman developed turned UNC Charlotte's retention programs upside down. And we're known nationally, internationally, because of retention.
That's amazing.
And Celestine was one of my first student staff.
Woo woo.
She's a teacher now, right?
I'm a principal, actually, yes.
She's
For
a
life.
principal.
For life, yes.
She's a principal now. All right, make sure everyone gets everyone's picture. After we're done with these pictures, does pastor of the church want to say a few things?
Absolutely.
Yes. So y'all take y'all pictures and receive the pastor.